Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Today I'm reviewing a new line of cigars called Warfighter. This is the Field Robusto 5x52. Now, this is a confusing line of cigars, and I've had to start over a couple of times with my video because it's so confusing. Comes in two basic lines. This is the Field line with a band that looks like this. And there's also a Garrison line, which is like more dressier. They're supposed to take after the uniforms in the military, a field uniform and a dressier Garrison uniform. The number nomenclature is the same, which gets really confusing. This is the 7.62 Field line, and it's the Robusto. This much I can tell you definitely. It's 5x52. The wrapper is Indonesian Sumatra. The binder is Nicaraguan Habano, and the filler is Dominican and Nicaraguan Habano from Condega and Esteli. Whew. Gets a little confusing. Now, this was purchased at my local shop, so they're out there. And even though this is the field version, I'll be doing the dressier version in the next week or so. So, made in the Plasencia factory, by the way. Forgot to tell you that. So, let's get right to it. The new, got to look at it again, Warfighter Field Robusto. Okay, I apologize if I confused anyone, possibly only confused myself. The bottom line is, there's the cigar. It is on shelves now. Let's see what it's like. Okay, it's a little firm. Let's give it a try. Well, your first flavors are limited. It's weird. There is, at this point, no real sweetness in the cigar. There's a nutmeg, a raw almond, and a little earthy coffee. The pepper is sort of like a white pepper, and it's about a 6.5. It's not overly peppery. It's a creamy nutmeg, but it has no real sweetness to it. Raw almonds, a little coffee. You can see I waited for the sweetness because you can see I'm a half inch in. But those are your initial flavors. Well, I'm about a third of the way in. There has been a little bit of sweetness pop up in the form of more or less a grapefruit citrus. Don't expect it to jump out at you, but it is there. It's a subtle sweetness, a touch of bitterness. You can still get the nutmeg. You can still get the raw almonds, although they're a little more toned down since the citrus arrived. And there's a little bit of sweetness in the citrus, and maybe a touch of brown sugar. Still a light coffee base. Yes, a light coffee base. The pepper is probably up just a tad to a 7. The finish is very much one of nutmeg, raw almonds. And not that much lingering pepper at all. Some lingering pepper, and I'll stick with a white. I I'll stick with a white pepper. Not to be disrespectful, but this cigar is just not hitting me, in the sweet spot. The first third, I'm rating it an 83, and I am in hopes that it will improve. But those are your flavors. Well, we're close to the final third, or the second third. Sorry, we're close to the second third. All right. Everything about this cigar is subtle. The flavors are all subtle, except for the nutmeg, which is just, it's everywhere. It is a creamy nutmeg. That doesn't help it that much. There's very subtle sweetness of citrus, almond, brown sugar, and now even a little dry cocoa sort of popped in there. Coffee. Pepper is actually decent in the cigar. Finish is unchanged. Strength-wise, medium-ish at best. Oh, this is just one of the. Every cigar can't be a winner to me. Somebody out there loves this cigar. How about write me on YouTube and tell me why you like this cigar so much? It's just not my thing. The second third, it lost some sweetness. I'm actually going with an 82. Just so you know, the lowest score I'm going to give a cigar is an 80. Anything below that is just going to be labeled as below 80 for future reference, because that may happen. But right now, this is just barely above that line. It's an 82 to me. It's just it's no sweetness. It has no pop. And I feel bad about it because I know that the manufacturer of it wanted these flavors, wanted this. So somebody out there, it's made for. It's just not me at this point. Let's see what the final third brings. Well, we are down to the end, so let's wrap it up. Not enough change to talk about. It's still the subtle sweetness. Very little. Large amounts of nutmeg. Medium bodied. And it pretty much stayed on course, just as it was before. Final third, 82. Overall score, even with this slightly better 83 in the first third, slightly better. Overall score of 82. My apologies if this offends anyone, but this is just my factual review. This cigar just had nothing for me. I actually think the flavors are nice if they were in a bigger amount, except for the nutmeg. The nutmeg could stay where it is, but the sweetness needs to come up to it or more. Like I said, if you like it, let me know. But for me, that's going to do it. The Warfighter 7.62 Field Robusto 82.